Hi there, YouTube. It was Mirishim Monday yesterday and Cob Tuesday today. Happy Cob Tuesday, everyone. I'm smoking my Morgan. I dubbed it the perfect specimen because I just love the shape of the bowl. And in it I'm, as usually, pathetically trying to smoke Awakened Elder by Cornell and Deal. Very, very nice English. Enjoying it enormously, I must say. I'll get into life updates in the later video. Now I want to ramble. As usual, getting stuff off my chest. I got a message from a friend of mine who I found out, goes to a psychologist. My friend got very depressed at the last session, and as far as I understand, that psychologist guy or girl, I don't know really, the psychologist basically shamed my friend for, he's about my age, and he got shamed for not having family and kids at this age. That psychologist guy basically said that you're inadequate for not having, the family and kids. You're supposed to be thinking about family and kids right now. My obvious first response was, did you punch the psychologist? Because it seems so medieval to me. You should be thinking about having a wife and kids, or husband and kids. There's something, your elderly aunt says to you. Usually the kind of aunt that wasted her life, basically, and didn't do anything worth mentioning. Uneventful life, and she basically pops up now and then and reminds you that you should be thinking about kids. It's time you should have kids. You must have kids. The clock is ticking. And all this shit. Well, I tried my best to calm my friend down, but I started thinking about when I had a kid and a family, and what was happening in my head, and my conclusion was, backwards. I'll try to explain it. When you grow up, you go, a major phase is going from childhood to adolescence, and there are many things that change in a person's life, but in my opinion the major thing is going from is the realization that there are certain things that you want but do not have, and this deep longing for certain things. But because about this time the whole world around you is pressing on you and trying to force you into a certain route, your whole the adolescent life is wanting and waiting. Just you wait. Something will happen, and then I'll do whatever I want. I'll finish school, I'll finish college, I'll find a decent job, I'll find a better job, I'll get that promotion, I'll move out, and then everything will start going for me. And you're always frustrated about things that are pushing you back or holding you back. Having to finish school, your parents not understanding you. It's not just the general frustration, it's the frustration of these things are in my way. I need this, I need that, I need more money. I want to travel, I want to talk to that girl, she's pretty. I want to have sex as much as I want, for the love of God. Then you start establishing long-term relationships, maybe even a permanent relationship, and that is also holding you back in a way. It comes with enormous benefits, otherwise you won't get into it, but at the back of your mind you're thinking, now I can't do this, now I can't do that, it kind of limits me. And then a kid appears. A child appears. And it comes usually with a tidal wave of different emotions and sensations, and it's overwhelming. You are maybe overjoyed, definitely afraid and anxious, and you're concerned for your loved one. Maybe you are unsure about the future. There's such a range. But each and every one of us has this small calculating bastard at the back of your head. And that's the time when this guy pops up and says, guess what? Remember all those things holding you back? And all the plans you had? Remember you were thinking about them. Things will start going for me. Well, my friend, that was a load of shit. In reality, all this didn't matter. The whole paths were open to you. The whole time you could have done anything. Until now, that is. Because now you are fucked. Because that over there, that's not your parents, that's not your girlfriend, that's not the lack of money, that is a person. And you either run now and become a monster in the eyes of everyone, and probably in your eyes, in your own eyes. Or you stay, and then you can kiss your previous life goodbye for the next 10 to 20 years. You're fucked. So, in a way, you become a shadow of your former self. Because all the things you thought you could do, not possible now. There's a kid. You have obligations. You have the obligation now in your life. I wonder what that fucked up psychologist, what he would say to this. Because that's definitely what I felt at certain points of my first couple of months of me being a father. And I can only imagine what my wife felt and what mothers feel at this point, because, you know, a guy, basically, he can run away, but, you know, when you're a young mother, this is your burden, literally, you know, this is your kid. You cannot leave the room without it. I was, pondering on this. Thinking to myself, in this very fine and liberating time we're living in. How do people even have kids, really? Because kids bring tremendous joy to your life, but in a way you do become a shadow of your young and ambitious self. I do hope my friend will find a way without kids. But this whole concept of you should be thinking about kids, fuck off. Better think about this now than have a kid because you have to and regret it afterwards. Because all these horrible parents we see and read about on the news, etc., etc., all these atrocities and horrible things, this is the this is what causes it. Having a kid and then realizing, oh my god, it's such a weight on me and I cannot cope with that. That's not something you can just put on your back and hope you will swim and not sink. Anyways. If anyone has anything to say on this topic, I'd very much like to hear from you, because I don't want to feel myself the only guy who thinks about such horrible things. No. Kind of makes me feel more than cynical. Yeah. All of you fathers out there, many of you have kids, some of you have many kids, so I'd like your input on this. I'm curious. Is it heresy? Am I a monster thinking of such things? Anyways, I'll leave you with that. The pauses are getting out of hand. Thanks for dropping by. Thanks for watching if you still are, and I'll be back soon with another one of my videos. Next one will be tobacco related, I promise. Thanks for dropping by. See you, people.